Yo, what's good? This is Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, and you're now watching Casey for L Wrestling Takes Show. What's going on, everybody? This your boy Casey for L King Self for Life Wrestling Takes, here to give you my honest take about both WWE Crown Jewel 2023 and AEWCollision. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who is a part of the nation. We're growing to 97. We're just 3 away from 300 subscribers. Man, I came a long way. I want to give a shout out to my new subscribers. They just so happen to be fellow riders of mine. I picked up 2 riders, and I talked about the channel, and they feel free to subscribe, so I appreciate them. Shout out to the 2. It was a couple. I salute y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Like I said, I come on here and I give you the honest to God take about what I'm watching. Now, after that, ladies and gentlemen, normally when it's concerning any pay-per-view, I don't care if it's the E, I don't care if it's AEW, I don't care if it's Impact, I don't care what it is. Usually what I try to do is I try to find the good, I try to find the bad, and all around in the middle. But I'm going to be 100% with y'all. This had to be one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen, period. Crown Jewel 2023, or as I like to call it, Crown Joke, because that's exactly what it was. A complete joke. A joke to the highest order. And guess what? I predicted majority of this pay-per-view right. I knew it was going to happen. It's just the execution. The execution, how things are supposed to happen. You don't execute things right, your pay-per-view is going to be trash. I don't give a care what nobody got to say. I don't care. All you Triple H jock snap riders, they got the jock strap all up on your face. Your mans can't book a pay-per-view to save his life. I'm sorry, Snaz McGee, a.k.a. Triple Big Nose, cannot book a pay-per-view to save his life. I've seen this man book, let's see, he's been under control since August 2022. That's a total of, he's been able to book at least 11 pay-per-views. And out of all 11 pay-per-views, he's only given me 3 solid pay-per-views. SummerSlam 2022, WrestleMania 39, and Backlash. Outside of that, every pay-per-view Triple H has put on has been a dud. Every single one of them. I don't care what you Triple H fans got to say, you WWE Hardcore Shields got to say, your mans can't book a pay-per-view to save his life. We're going to break down everything that happened on this show from the pre-show to the very end. And then I'm going to get on Tony Khan's case about Collision, because there was some solid wrestling on the show, but Tony Khan is just all over the place right now, and it's sad. It's very sad. This should be a time right now where TK should be going to the drawing board and say, listen, I don't know what the clown I'm doing. I need some help. I need to get me a writing team to get up in here to help me along the way, because right now my product is trash. My product is stale. We're on our way to Full Gear. More than likely, Full Gear will probably be a solid pay-per-view, but my booking to the show is just not making any type of sense whatsoever, because I'm all over the place. We're going to break everything down, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go. We kick off everything. The pre-show opened up with Sami Zayn and JD Madonna. You've seen this match about 18 million times. The only reason this band was there because, you know, the Saudi fans love Sami. You know why. For political/religious reasons. But, you know, Sami came out there, fans went nuts, and he beat JD Madonna. JD Madonna's squad was out there to try to help him out. It didn't work. Sami Zayn wins. All right, boom. So then we move on to the first matchup of the show. Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I was looking forward to this because I honestly wanted Drew McIntyre to win. This was a very good match. The only problem is the wrong man won. Drew McIntyre should have won this match. Seth Rollins is a beaten man. He does not need this championship. He doesn't. What is the point of trying to build up Drew McIntyre just so that he can get swallowed up by the Seth Rollins monster? Because that's basically what Seth Rollins is turning into. He's turning into a monster of his own. He doesn't need his championship no more. And somehow, some way, he was able to survive with a bad back and all. Drew McIntyre looked like a joke. He lost. Seth Rollins wins. He retains his championship. Damian Priest came running out there because Drew McIntyre laid him out. Seth was like, oh, snap, I'm finna lose my championship. He tried to cash in. He literally tried to cash in. Sami Zayn comes out of nowhere. Listen, let me tell you something. It's one thing to do the hoodie thing. It's another thing to do it about 2 to 3 times. You done it with Jimmy. You did it with Jay. And now we're doing it with Sami. Sami came out of nowhere with the hood on, laid out Damian Priest, and stole his briefcase. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, man. Damian Priest is a complete joke. I told you the Judgment Day as of right now is one of the worst stables I've seen. Listen, they was pretty cool at first, but now they trying their best to be the Bloodline, and they are a complete joke. Every single member of the group, all of them. But the biggest joke of the whole group is sadly turning into Damian Priest, and I like Damian Priest. But him with this briefcase, and now Sami has the briefcase, it's like, man, what are we doing? What are we honestly doing with Damian Priest? Because Triple H and them don't know what they're doing. They don't know. It's a joke. Like I say, WWE, people told me WWE is hot right now. I don't know what you're talking about, because what I'm seeing is just a bunch of bull jive. I'm seeing idiotic, stupid booking that makes absolutely no sense. And fools telling me, hey, man, it's going to be great. This is great storytelling. No, this is stupid storytelling. This ain't leading to nothing. If he can't cash in, then what's the point of him even having the briefcase? We still want to keep Seth with this doggone championship. Seth does not need this title anymore. He does not need it, ladies and gentlemen. He does not need it. And it's sad, man. I'm like, what are we doing? What the clown are we doing? I said, man, terrible. Terrible. I'm like, already starting off on a bad note. So after that, I just talked about that. Then we get this match. Oh, my goodness. Boy, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Starks. Fatal 5-way for the WWE Women's World Championship. This matchup was nothing. And there are people that told me that Rhea Ripley's title run has been solid. No, it hasn't. Rhea Ripley has done absolutely nothing with this title. If you telling me feuding with Natalya for half the year and a whole bunch of nothing matches, then basically going through the entire women's locker room in one matchup is supposed to get me excited about Rhea Ripley's title run. Meanwhile, she going after the men too, trying to be the leader of the Judgment Day. You want me to be invested in Rhea Ripley? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready for Rhea Ripley to lose that championship. I'm so ready for her to lose this title because she ain't doing nothing with it. She's doing absolutely nothing. You know, at this point, I know people want to see Rhea Ripley versus Bianca. I'm not doing that right now. Word on the street is Liv Morgan is ready to come back. Do not bring Liv Morgan back. Have Liv Morgan be a surprise entrance in the Royal Rumble. And if you want Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble, by all means do it. And guess what? Guess what we doing at WrestleMania? We doing Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I'll tolerate that. As much as as much as I'm here, this is my honest take about Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan still needs a lot of work, but I would actually tolerate that more so than whatever Rhea Ripley's doing right now, because she ain't doing nothing for me. She went through these clowns like it was nothing. She went through every one of them. Nia Jax looked like a joke. Raquel Rodriguez looked like an even bigger joke. Shayna Baszler, what was she there for? And Zoe Stark just was limping around the entire match. And Rhea Ripley came out there looking like a clown with the makeup on she had on. I was like, did she think she looked hot with that makeup on? No, she looked like a clown. She looked like a complete clown. I said, what is this? This is the best that you got? This is the best you have for Rhea Ripley? Giving her nothing but jobbers to go against, and I'm supposed to be invested in that? No, absolutely not. Rhea Ripley walks through them like it was nothing. They tried their best to make it look like Raquel was going to win and Nia was going to win, even Shayna, but nothing. Rhea ended up pinning Shayna because all of them jumped on top. Like I said, it was just cluster heck. Everybody all over the place. It was literally nothing, ladies and gentlemen. A nothing burger. This was basically get the women on the show so they could say we had a women's match. H don't care. Listen, people talk about TK. Look, H don't care about the women either. The only clown I know in WWE that actually somewhat care about the women is Shawn Michaels. He is the only one that actually literally care about the women's wrestling. That's it. But Triple H don't. Tony Khan, you know he don't give a crap. So I'm like, and somewhat Scott D'Amore. I give Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore and Shawn Michaels seem to be the only two North American bookers that actually care about women's wrestling. Triple H and Tony Khan do not care at all. They don't, because they have no clue what they're doing. Neither one of them. So yeah, that's that. So we get this match up. Now, Fruity Pebbles got me to care about this match because of the promo he cut on Solo last night. Unfortunately, the matchup was a complete joke. The matchup was basically Solo thumbing John Cena about 15 times and the match was over. I said, Fruity Pebbles did not need to put Solo Sikoa over. Solo is invincible right now. He did not need to win this match at all. Fruity Pebbles, a.k.a. John Cena, should have won. Fruity Pebbles lost this match like he's done, like he's gone. After the match, he was standing there looking like a straight clown. He has lost again. I don't know what the clown we trying to tell with Fruity Pebbles. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was like, what was the point? It wasn't even, literally, y'all, this was not a match at all. It was just, that was the whole match. That was literally the whole match. The whole match was just that man just doing the Umaga thumb. I just call it the Umaga thumb because that's what Umaga used to do back in the day. He used to thumb cats in the throat all day. And that's all Solo did to Fruity Pebbles. That was it. The whole time. The entire time. I was like, that's it. You literally put this foolishness on this show for that. Absolutely nothing. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. I said, what am I watching? This whole show so far has been a complete waste of time. Normally, I like something on this show. Nothing. I said, what? Like I said, if I had to pick out of everything I've seen, the best match probably was Drew and Seth. But even that match, I was like, man, what the heck is this? No, like I said, no. Look here. I honestly try my best to go into these shows and watch it as a pro wrestling fan. But like I say, I critique this stuff. This is what my channel is. It's called Casey for Wrestling Takes. I'm giving my take on what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is filth. It's trash. It's terrible. This is terrible booking 101. Terrible, whatever this is. Promotion, whatever they trying to present is terrible. I saw this mess. I said, what a complete joke. A joke to the highest order. Then this bull jive. They literally trying to turn the Miz into a babyface, and we got Miz pretty much getting ready to go against Grayson Waller. I do not care. Why the heck do I want to see The Miz versus The Miz 2.0? I do not have any desire to see this garbage. This is trash, ladies and gentlemen. Utter trash. But fools told me, man, this is going to get Grayson Waller over. No, it ain't. Grayson Waller is the Australian version of The Miz. And I could care less about him. You know I don't care nothing about The Miz. So what make you think I'm going to care about Grayson Waller? A complete waste of time. Waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. But hey, Triple H is the man because y'all said the E is hot right now. That's what y'all told me. Every single one of you WWE Shields and some of you AEW heads who are turning on AEW told me that the E is hot right now. Every single one of y'all. I saw this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view was garbage. Hot garbage. Speaking of garbage, Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Everybody and their mother knew exactly who was going to win this match. The way listen, if you're going to cheat, you got to be sneaky and conniving with it. They were not. One of Logan Paul's groonies came out there, walked right up to the side of the ring, put the little brass knuckle out there, and then here comes Santo Escobar, quote unquote, trying to save the day when literally he just pretty much helped Logan Paul out. Instead of putting the goofy brass knuckles down, how about you put the goofy brass knuckles in your pocket and walk off with it? Logan Paul should have been quote-unquote smarter than that to basically already have one just in case that one get lost, somehow find a way to go into his own pants and pull the thing off. You know, pull it out, but be sneaky and conniving with it. I would have accepted that ending outside of the bull jive ending that we got. Santos came out of nowhere, picked up the brass knuckle, and instead of putting it in his pocket, he pretty much set it right down so quote-unquote Logan Paul could basically pick it up and whack Ray with it, and now you have your new United States Championship. Great way to finish the match. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And honestly, I didn't really see nothing. I watched this match. There was literally no improvement from Paul. Like I said, it was nothing. I thought the two of them was actually going to go in there and give me something. This was a generic matchup. Absolutely nothing. I got nothing from it. Nothing. And Logan Paul is your new United States champion. Congratulations to him, but I could care less. I mean, I told you he was winning. I told every single one of y'all he was winning. But it don't mean at the end of the day it means absolutely nothing. It's all about the freaking execution. You got to execute the stuff right. And whatever they were trying to do, that was nothing. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. You got to execute that stuff right. They did. It was a bull jive, bush league way of how to execute quote unquote cheat. You got to do it right. They didn't do it right or sneaky at all. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, and then after that, he going to grab the man and talk about, I respect you. And then Ray said, you knew what you did, Paul. You knew what you did. So they talked about Elimination Chamber. It's going to be in Australia. You know who's going to be basically headline that. That's right. Rhea's going to headline that. You already know. So we get ready. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. WWE Women's Championship match. Just way too many interferences for me. Way too many. Again, it is. Listen, man. I would have tolerated just Io winning on her own. You did not need, like I said, you didn't need Bayley out there. And then the way how they introduced Kairi Sane, to me, man, that was. I can't even call it. I don't even really know how to describe it. I can't. I'm trying to put the words together, ladies and gentlemen. I saw Kairi Sane. I'm looking. I said, well, one thing, Kairi Sane is even smaller than what she was before she left. I'm like, she had on a white and red suit. Looked like, it kind of reminded me of Uma Thurman from Kill Bill, but instead of it being all yellow, it was white and red. And I'm like, okay, Kairi Sane back. And she pretty much came back to help Io. And now Bayley looked like she is confused on what to do. So there's a possibility. I'm just telling y'all right now. There's a huge possibility. They might put Io together with Kairi Sane. And who knows, maybe Asuka join them. And they be the three Japanese girls or something. Ladies and gentlemen, again, what I tell you. When you don't know what to do with people who aren't white, you put them together because you just don't know what to do. And that's basically what's about to happen. Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane about to become a trios. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you what's about to happen. And more than likely, Bayley is probably going to turn babyface, and she's probably going to line herself with Bianca or something like that. I don't know, man. Listen, I would have tolerated, like I said, I told you, Io was supposed to win. The right woman won, but the way how the execution, how they call themselves trying to execute it, it just came off sloppy. It came off dumb. I'm like, this is the way you introduce, and then the crowd didn't do him no favors. They didn't do Kyrie. They looked at him like, who is this? Like, I ain't never seen that woman before. I'm like, yeah, you ain't seen her in a year and a half. She been gone almost 2 years. She been gone just about 2 years. She left in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I probably would have saved her for a SmackDown or something. You know what I'm saying? That way she would be in front of a crowd that actually know who she is, instead of being in front of some people who really don't know or care about her. That's why I say how you execute things makes shows that much better. And H and them failed tonight, or yesterday, because it's well, actually, telling the truth, no, it's not. It's still Saturday because it's daylight savings. So technically, it's 11:02 right now. It's not 12 o'clock. So it's still Saturday night right now. The execution, I would have tolerated if they would have executed this a lot better, I probably would have been fine with it. But just the way how you executed, how you brought her in, it just didn't come off real, if you ask me. I know some people are ecstatic, they're happy that she's here, but just the way how you brought her in, I'm like, it is. I'm literally shrugging my shoulders, like, And you know it's sad because I like Kairi Sane. Like I said, Io, Bianca, Kairi. Listen, let me tell you something. The SmackDown women's side of things, I'm gonna say they are a tad bit booked better than the Raw side. Because some people said that the Raw side is booked better than the Smack. I disagree. If they put forth the effort in telling the right story, you can get behind what they're trying to tell. And I know what they were trying to tell. They're trying to say, okay, Io got the real backup because Bayley ain't really doing it no more for Io, so she called the girl Kairi Sane in. I get that's what you're trying to tell, but you got to execute it right. And what they tried to do, it was garbage. I didn't really care for it at all. I said, it's just, once again, you doing what you do best. Bianca continues to get screwed left and right. She gets screwed by everybody. Bianca is getting screwed by the entire... It's like, I'm telling you right now, the clowns that work in the back are always finding ways to screw Bianca over. She gets screwed over left and right. She gets screwed over here. She gets screwed over there. It's like she gets screwed out of everything. And fools tell me all the time, Bianca doesn't go through any adversity. I said, you fools don't... You refuse to pay attention. Because the girl I keep seeing not only goes out there to put in that work, but she constantly keeps getting screwed because the clown who's supposed to be booking her has absolutely no idea how to book her. He can't book her to save his life. I don't give a care because let me tell you something. When she was in NXT with him, he booked her like a joke. Yes, she may have been built like a heel, but she was booked like a complete joke. That girl lost everything in NXT. Now the fact that she's on the main roster and H, quote unquote, is, if you want to say, trying his best, he ain't really trying his best. He just making her look like a complete joke, like he's been doing the last however so long he been in control. Because he just picking up where Vince McMahon left off. We know how Vince was booking Bianca. He just picking right up. And then, like I say, the situation going on with Io Sky, I'm like, you bring in Kyrie, and I'm like, meanwhile, Bayley's sitting over there, and you really don't even know what you're doing with Dakota Kai either, because Dakota Kai is so injury prone. It's like, yeah, I'm literally, like I say, as of right now, I'm out on just about everything concerning this company, because my excitement level should be going up. We get ready heading into Survivor Series, which is going to be right here in the backyard. My excitement level should be heading up. But after watching this garbage pay-per-view, I'm sitting up and saying, how the heck you fools telling me that this company is hot right now when they just produced one of the worst pay-per-views they ever put on in their whole life? It was terrible. It was that bad. That bad. I'm telling y'all gonna hate my score. You gonna hate my score when I give it to you. You gonna hate it. I told you I was going in on Triple Big Nose. His can't book a pay-per-view to save his life. He can't. I don't care. These fools that love H, you circus clowns that love H, you know exactly who I'm talking to. Every single one of you clowns that love Triple H, y'all fools are on crack. You got to hold a Tony Khan's crack because you think everything what Triple H do is great. No. I don't want to hear, but Vince McMahon, no. Don't tell me nothing about no garbage Vince McMahon. The whole deal was, quote-unquote, finessed out of his hands so that, quote-unquote, Triple Big Nose can, quote-unquote, have full control of creative, correct? The circus clown don't know what he's doing. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing. None whatsoever. Garbage pay-per-view. Hot garbage. What a way to reintroduce Kairi Sane to the world. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then this match, the dumbest match on the whole card. I didn't even care about this match at all. I did because neither one of these two clowns could lose. Cody Rhodes must be built up because you know what we getting ready to do with him. Damian Priest, who had not only one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champs, he is Senor Mr. Money in the Bank, Senor Money in the Bank, right? So neither one of these clowns should be wrestling against each other. First of all, Cody and Damian Priest been wrestling each other for how long? And you put them together. Why? Terrible. Terrible booking decision to book this. So you butt yourself into a back wall where you know. And guess what happened? The champion gets pinned. It's perfect. Damian Priest looks like an even bigger joke. He doesn't have his briefcase anymore. He's a champion getting pinned. And where do we go here from here? Cody Rhodes beats Damian Priest for the 18th millionth time. Where the clown do we go from here? Where? Damian Priest, ladies and gentlemen, is a complete joke. A joke. I had higher hopes for him. I was hoping that they was probably going to do something good with him. They have done absolutely nothing. He has looked like a complete joke with the Judgment Day, and you look out here looking like a complete joke against Cody Rhodes as a champion. This is how champions are treated in wrestling promotions, ladies and gentlemen. Titles don't mean anything. You can be a champion all you want and get pinned. When you get pinned as a champion, your championship title doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean nothing. I don't give a care what you got to say. Your title don't mean nothing. When you constantly get pinned left and right, how the heck you a champion and you get pinned in non-title matches? What kind of sense does that make? That makes absolutely no sense. But you got a whole lot of fools that are going to sit up here and justify it and say it's the right call and all this crap. You don't book matches like that. You just don't. I don't give a care. You just don't. You don't put. What was the point? And guess what? If you notice something, nobody in the Judgment Day was out there to save his bacon. Nobody. So if I'm Damian Priest, I'm really feeling some kind of way. I lost my briefcase and I lost as a tag team champion. Where the clown was everybody who's supposed to be in my who's supposed to have my back? Where y'all circus clowns at? Rhea, nowhere in sight. JD Madonna, nowhere in sight. Finn Balor, nowhere in sight. Dom, nowhere in sight. Y'all clowns supposed to have my back, right? Nowhere in sight. Because that's all they do. They be cheating for everybody in the mama, so you would think they would be out there. No. Cody won clean. What do we do with Damian Priest? What the clown do we do? I say, don't book stupid stuff like this. Don't. Like I said, neither one of these. You know Cody couldn't lose because Cody is being built up. You know why? So he can go after Roman one more time. So Cody can't lose. And then Damian Priest as the champion. He can't lose. So why in the world do you book this idiotic match? This tells me all I need to know. H has not a single clue what he's doing. And we're bringing War Games back. So it's Survivor Series War Games. That's what we call it. Great. But what the clown is this circus clown doing? He don't know what he's doing. Fools always want to get on here and destroy Tony Khan without quote-unquote destroying or quote-unquote uplifting Triple H. No, we're going to destroy everybody. We're going to cook everybody. We're going to tell everybody the bold-faced truth what we're looking at. We expect better. You are calling yourself a wrestling promoter. You better give us the best of the best. I don't care. You can have an off night here and there, but when it's concerning pay-per-views, I don't care. If you're going over there to get dirty money. Matter of fact, as of right now, they just made a total of $500 million because they've been there over the last 10 years. And with TKO, quote unquote, the Saudis controlling the WWE, they get ready to make even more money. Dirty money is dirty as heck, but they get ready to make more money. Sad. Absolutely pathetic. Didn't care 1 ounce of this because it was dumb booking. You knew Cody was going to win. He got the victory, did the cold rolls or whatever you want to call it, that move. Crossroads, wins, done. And then the main event, rinse and repeat. We all knew. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, to the fans that told me this was going to elevate LA Knight, this is going to elevate him, this is elevate. Guess what happens? Roman Reigns does what he does best. He makes the guy look, quote unquote, look good, and then boom, everybody in the mama come out. Jimmy Uso comes out, starts beat the brakes off LA Knight. Referee acting like ain't nothing going on. Roman uses it to spear, boom, match over. Rinse and repeat. Same old, nothing new. LA Knight has been completely squashed. He needs to go back to the bottom of the barrel because nothing he does from this point on will matter. I don't care what you clowns have to say. All of you fools in the back that kept telling me, talk about, oh, this is going to elevate LA Knight. This ain't elevating him. This is not elevating him at all. This is terrible. This was terrible. Didn't care about it. Like I said, they got me hyped from SmackDown, but when I watched it, rinse and repeat, the same old. And ladies and gentlemen, Roman Reigns is done for the remainder of the year. We will not see Roman Reigns until Royal Rumble. So happy Thanksgiving to Roman Reigns, his family, and Merry Christmas to him and his family. We won't see him for the remainder of the year. WWE is fantastic. They're great. Ladies and gentlemen, Crown Joke 2023 was a complete waste of time, space, and matter. One of the worst pay-per-views I've seen in a very long time. I don't want to hear one person come on here tell me I'm hating. I'm just telling you the bold-faced truth. I watched every match from the pre-show to the very end, and I ain't like nothing. Normally, I like something. I didn't like nothing. I didn't like anything. Was there some decent wrestling on the show? It's always going to be decent wrestling on the show, but it don't mean nothing. It's about how you execute things. If you're not executing crap, you're wasting your time. And Triple H and them, they failed miserably. They failed. This was a flat out F. H and them get an F. My final grade for Crown Joke 2023 is a flat out 0 out of 10. That is the first time I've ever given anybody a 0 out of 10. I've never given nobody a 0. I usually give them like a 1 or 2. This was a flat out 0 out of 10. This was a terrible pay-per-view. I want somebody to doggone screenshot this. I don't care. You can send it to Triple H himself. Send it to Triple Big Nose himself. I don't give a crap. This was a failure through and through. I ain't care about nothing on this show. A complete waste of time. Straight F. 0 out of 10. Trash pay-per-view. Now let me go ahead and talk about this show right here. Tony Khan, we're literally 2 weeks away from Full Gear. You did a couple of things that were decent on the show, but this man, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Khan is literally all over the place right now. This man is literally all over the place. And it's like TK's trying to do the same storyline for this person. I'm like, no. We got to cut that bull jive out. We got to cut the bull jive out. Tony, you need to get yourself a team to help you with the different divisions. You book what you book, but the rest of the stuff, leave it up to somebody else. Because it just seems like certain things are just happening. Random matches are just happening out. That's not it, man. I'm not just a random match kind of guy. You got the wrong one. I'm a wrestling fan, but I critique the mess out of what you're doing. You're better than this. You are better than this, man. I expect better. You know, man, let me tell you something. Even with the opening match we got, I kind of wish we would have got that on Dynamite. This way, AR Fox could have gave out his grievances against Swerve. His grievances. Why he got kicked out of the London match. He was supposed to be at Wembley. He said it was his fault, and then he said, no, you screwed yourself, AR Fox. We could have got some kind of connection like that. So people say, oh, so these two finna be fighting on Saturday night. Makes sense. You tie things together. Don't just, we tweet out AR Fox versus Swerve Strickland. like I say, man, now, was the match great? Yes, it was the best match on the whole show. It was better than every match that I've seen on the freaking show. But again, just booking random matches is not the answer, and that's what TK does. It's what he do. He books random matches, and then certain storylines that should be taking place. What he does, he'll take one storyline and then he'll try to do the same exact thing for somebody else. And I'm like, I'm seeing this. It's like a repetitive thing. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Like TK, don't try to do the same exact storyline that you're doing with MJF, that you're trying to do with FTR, or you're trying to do with the BCC. No, we need to cut that bull jive out. You need to come up with something different, or you need to get somebody in there to get that book out your hand and help you book. Because what you're doing, bro, it's not it, man. Our excitement level for Full Gear should be higher than the freaking 20%. It's unacceptable. I'm not accepting Listen, the AEW shields out there, y'all can accept mediocre all you want. I'm not accepting mediocrity. I don't accept it over here. Over here, Case of Wrestling Takes, I expect the wrestling to be top notch. Storylines, wrestling matches, everything. And what Snaj McGee just gave us, aka Triple Big Nose, that ain't it. And what you doing? Let me tell you something. Ever since Tony Khan went on that rant, he really ain't done. He hasn't really done anything. He's done a little something, but obviously he ain't really been doing nothing. And we can really break down everything that happened on the show. Certain things that popped off. I'm like, if things were supposed to make sense, you know what? I would say, you know what, TK? I think it was a good joke. It was a good show. But because he's all over the place, it's like, man, what are we doing? Honestly, I really literally don't know what we're doing with the House of Black. But I'm like, what do y'all want? Do y'all want the tag team titles, or do you want the trio titles back? What do you want? Literally, what do you want? They don't know. TK don't know, man. Let's talk about it. So they was from Wichita, Kansas. Crowd was solid. Solid crowd. We opened up the show. Like I say, everybody cut their promos, and then we got the swerve, and then boom, out of nowhere, Fox came out of nowhere, started beating the brakes off of him and Prince Nana. So that's opened up the show. We jumped right into that. And Swerve and Fox, they gave us a great match. Like I said, I obviously thought this was the best match on the show, but again, I just need things to tie together. I literally need stuff to tie together. I don't want cats just wrestling each other just because. Why is Fox and Swerve wrestling each other on the Collision? Make the stuff make sense, man. That's all we ask. Put 1 and 2 together. Why? Ain't you supposed to tie Dynamite from Dynamite to Rampage, or from Rampage to Collision? Ain't that what the whole point of wrestling TV? It's all about the freaking continuation. Continuation matters in wrestling TV. Everything that transpires from the TV show goes on to the pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view is supposed to be so-called conclusion. A lot of times it's not. That's what the whole point. If you just doing random matches and we're not really getting an understanding of what's going on because you want somebody to go Google it. No, bro. We need to get a clear understanding of what we're watching. We need a clear understanding. Don't just put the matches together because that's all you know how to do. Being a matchmaker does not call for you to be the so-called Booker of the Year. AEW Shields and Dave Meltzer and all those circus clowns then lied to you, bro. They have lied to you. They told you that you were Booker of the Year because you're just a good matchmaker. And just being a good matchmaker don't make you Booker of the Year. It just don't. Like I said, I'm sorry to tell you that, Anthony Khan, but that just not make you the Booker of the Year. AR Fox gave it his all, but at the end of the day, Swerve won. Gates of Agony pulled up. After Gates of Agony pulled up, Ricky Starks, Big Bill came out there. Then FTR came out there, and then Roosh came out. Excuse me. And then, like I said, they show House of Black watching. So basically talk about what's the main event going to be in. Honestly, I didn't care about the main event because the champions were getting pinned in the main event. This is why I hate when you book champions in non-title matches. For some idiotic reason, wrestling promoters love champions losing in non-title matches. I will never be a fan of that bull jive. Never. So the fact that you had the Gangsta Agony, Big Bill, and Ricky Starks all teaming up against Roosh, FTR, and Preston Vance. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. So MJF is going off about Jay White. Said, okay, you pin me, but your circus clowns were the reason why you was able to pin me. I'm getting my championship back. You can look up your name and Google it. Your name is Mid and all this stuff. I'm like, so then they respond right back to him, talk about they run everything. They run Dynamite, they run Collision, they run Rampage, and all of this. I'm like, you know what, man? Look, just get me full gear. At this point, I feel like we've seen everything they could tell with Jay White and MJF. Just let them get in the ring and tear it up. That's all I care about right now with this feud, because the most important thing about MJF's situation is the fact that he has so many clowns coming at him. And we still don't know who the devil clown is. For people who are not familiar with what I'm talking about, there is somebody that's rocking around with MJF's devil costume, and there is absolutely a lot of suspicion on who that could be. Some people saying it's Jack Perry. Some people saying it's Adam Cole. Some people even saying it could be a returning CM Punk. We don't know. We have no clue. We're going to find out. So Kip Sabian was talking about what he going to do to Mark Briscoe. He said he got 2 clowns to help him out. So if Mark Briscoe can find 2 other clowns that face him in their matchup, that's all good and dandy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, man. Look. I would care more about Kip Sabian if he was getting reasonable wins. Same thing with the Workhorsemen. But all they've been is enhancement talent. So why the heck should I give a crap? It's good to see Mark Briscoe back in the house, but why the heck should I care about jobbers like them? Why? When all they do is just job. This is the type of stuff that a lot of people are saying about Tony Khan's booking, is where he just constantly does stuff like this that makes no sense. And people wonder, should I continue to watch this? You know, and I'm like I said, Mark Briscoe is great. Like I said, he's funny as heck. He's silly. Kip Sabian is good in his own right, but he just hasn't been built up ever since he came back. He's just been losing to everybody. He's just been jobbing out to everybody. And then you put them together, with the Workhorsemen. Nothing. So, 2 jobbers are standing out there. Roderick Strong and the Kingdom come out there to basically massacre it. I'll say it once again, another jobbers match. See, these are the type of segments where you shouldn't even have matches. We should just get a talking segment about what the Kingdom and Roderick Strong going to do, because MJF is preoccupied. Adam Cole is somewhere. This is where they should really be building up their aspect of the side of things. Not taking on jobbers. If you wanted them literally to take on jobbers, what you should have done was you should have had a segment on Dynamite where they would have said, we're going to take on anybody and whatever. Build it up. Again, I do not like random matches just pulling up on the show, because we don't know who those circus clowns was in the ring. Mike Bivin and Matt Taven basically beat the brakes off him, and then Roger Strong gonna get up out the doggone wheelchair, drop kick my man, and then fall back on his back. Now, before the match, as he was coming out, he started yelling. The young lady who's the ring announcer, her name is Dasha. He was like, Dasha, you know how I do, just just being obnoxious and yelling on the microphone or whatever. Like I said, man, I just want stuff to make sense. That's all I'm asking. I'm literally just make it make sense. Just having these random jobber matches, and I'm like, is that supposed to get me interested in what they're doing? No. Technically, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, they should technically be the ones going after the Ring of Honor tag team title, because MJF is tag team partner with Adam Cole, correct? When you think to get closer or whatever, don't you think, okay, since MJF don't want to be tight, how about you take away what's rightfully his? That's all I'm just asking. Just put 1 and 2 together. That's all I'm asking. But who am I? Just a random YouTuber on here complaining. Yeah, like I said, Mark Briscoe rolled up, and FTR said, "Hey man, we really get down." He said, "Oh boys," he said, "Look, y'all got y'all business, y'all got to handle. Don't worry, I'm good. I got 2 other cats that's gonna help me out tonight, and everything is all good." So good. FTR was willing to do double duty tonight, literally. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember when we thought that Cash Wheeler was hurt? We thought Cash Wheeler was literally hurt. Because Dax is fine. Everybody thought Cash Wheeler was hurt. Word on the street is they, quote-unquote, didn't want to do the job to the Young Bucks. Because it feels like that's the route they're going. And if they go that route, I hope Ricky Starks literally just asked for his release right after Full Gear. If they end up losing to the Young Bucks. Because the Young Bucks are nowhere in sight. And I do not want them winning them tag team titles no time soon. They are technically the number 1 contender for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so late. Forgive me. Forgive me. But it is what it is. So then this matchup, we ain't seen Lance Archer in like 500 million years. He pulls up out of nowhere, talking about he going after Darby Allin, and we get a Jake the Snake Roberts sighting. I said it's about time we seen Jake the Snake Roberts. You know, a typical Darby Allin match. Darby Allin's going to get his behind kicked. He's going to get beat up because he's a wannabe Johnny Knoxville meets Jack Skeleton from Nightmare Before Christmas. Get beat up the whole matchup. Jake the Snake Roberts was about to cheat right in front of Stephen. He picked up the doggone skateboard trying to be slick with it. He looked right at him and he kicked his behind. Now, he's like, what I do? I ain't do nothing. So you would think Lance Archer, come on now. Lance Archer is this big bohemian, big old dude with dreadlocks losing to Darby Allin. It don't make sense, man. It makes no sense. That man lost again. Lance Archer, what is he here for? He's just there to be a big dumb man enhancement talent. So after the matchup, Jake the Snake Roberts comes back out there. He gets on the mic. He say, Darby, guess what? You thought Lance Archer was all I got? I got some more help. I got some more cats associated with me. So now the Righteous have aligned themselves with Jake the Snake Roberts and Lance Archer. Now, if this ain't leading to them potentially going after the trios titles, what the clown are we doing? What are we doing? I will accept Lance Archer with the Righteous, with Jake the Snake Roberts being the mouthpiece as the manager, and them going after the doggone trios titles, since nobody else wants to go after the trios titles. Nobody else wants to go after the trios titles, for real. For real, though. I'm serious. So, Lance Archer and Righteous, if you want them to be the next trios champions, by all means, because LFI is preoccupied. House of Black don't know what they're doing. We're going to get a matchup tonight. We're going to talk about the trios champions because they was out there to celebrate. But if this is what we're doing, if we're building this new faction up with Jake the Snake Roberts as a doggone mouthpiece for them, and they potentially win the trios championships, build them up as a dominant force. Listen, what TK needs to do, he needs to get somebody to be in control of the trios division, and he needs to get somebody in control of the tag team division, because everybody seems to just be all over the place and not having a single clue what to do. Get someone in control of those divisions so we can get things making sense around here. That's all I'm asking. So right after that, Lance Archer beat the brakes off of Darby Allin, and you had to ask yourself, no Edge or a Sting to come to his rescue. Now, before this matchup, we got a promo video package of Christian with his devious self in the TNT title. And I got to say, this is one positive for the show. Christian Cage has done the TNT title wonders. I say, that is a fantastic job. I love that. Great. Now, let's get everything else in order. Everything else must be in order. Everything else must get in order for this company to continue to thrive. Because as of right now, AEW has been on a lower ship. They've been going down. They've been going down in viewership. Nobody wants to come to the shows anymore. And I said, that's because the cat that's in the way is that dude named Anthony Khan. He got to get his mind. He got to realize, it's up to him to realize, listen, I don't have it anymore. I'm not really that good of a booker, and I need some serious help. Let's go back, let's revamp, and let's get AEW back on the map like it was back from 2019 to 2021. Let's get it back on the map. We had to. because TNA is on our tail. WWE, as right now, if you want to say they're hot, but that pay-per-view we just got tonight, no, absolutely not. Backstage segment, Chris said it's good to have Willow and Sky Blue here so we can get to the bottom of things. It's all good. I appreciate you having my back. She said, no, I didn't have your back. I did that for myself. And Willow was sitting up there smiling, she's talking about, I'm Willow's friend. And she just left. And Chris was just standing there looking confused. I was like, well, ladies and gentlemen, we need to just come on out with it. We need to come on and make up what we plan on doing. Because as of right now, Willow is in the middle. Is Willow tight with Sky? Is Willow tight with Chris? Nobody knows anything. That's what we need to get to the bottom line. We literally need to get to the bottom line of what we're trying to tell with these three women. If you want to throw Julie in there, make it a fatal four-way, by all means. We need to get to the bottom of the storyline. Where are we going? Where are we going? Because right now, Willow, I'm telling you, Willow is like, she don't know what to do. Sky was really on her own. And Chris is confused because she wants to be tight with everybody, but Sky Blue doesn't want to be her friend anymore. She doesn't want to be her friend, but she's still, quote unquote, she's still tight with Willow. That's what it is, right? They need to just go ahead and either make a fatal four or make it a triple threat for the TBS title. Let's come on with the come on. Time is up. Literally 2 weeks away from Full Gear. It's still, let's go. Let's go. Time to get the storylines in check. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. No more games, Tony Khan. No more games. The games are up. Speaking of games, we have a celebration. It's a 6-9 celebration for the Trios champions, the Acclaim. They came out there. Max does his rap. Anthony and Daddy A have a surprise for Max. MJF actually finally acknowledged Max Cassidy. Said he appreciated him for doing what he did, even though the stuff is still weird and all this bull jive. But he said he appreciated all this and everything. So Max Daniel broke down crying and all this stuff, just clowning and everything. So with them clowning and celebrating, out of nowhere comes Dalton Castle and the boys. And I said, are we turning Dalton Castle and the boys heels now? Well, the celebration was cut short. Their trophy got broken, and we got a matchup. And Dalton Castle and the boys pretty much tried their best to, quote-unquote, win the Trios titles. It didn't work. It did not work. They retained their championships, and I'm like, well, there they go. Right back to the drawing board with them. There we go. I'm like, I would prefer to see them more and actually get these victories before they end up going up for the titles. But, again, that's why TK needed to look. I think they need to go back to the ranking system. Because at least with the ranking system, you actually knew who deserved a shot and who didn't deserve a shot. Cats just coming out of nowhere talking about, I want a championship shot. It shouldn't be like that. If you're getting victories, then maybe we can talk about you getting a shot for the title or whatever. But we need to revamp everything. We need to revamp the Trios titles, the TBS title. We need to revamp the Women's AEW Women's Championship. We need to revamp the AEW International Championship. The only titles in AEW right now I say that are somewhat booked decent is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship and the TNT title. All the other championships they have need a division leader to lead the storylines for said title. They need it, and they need it bad. They need it right now. Games are up. No more games. Look, I know War Games is around the corner, but no more games literally for AEW. No more games. Absolutely no more games, ladies and gentlemen. No more games. Andrade talked about his situation with CJ Perry. He's thinking about actually getting down with her, and he said he would like to have a face-to-face with CJ Perry. So we get the matchup. We got Kip Sabian and the Workhorse, and so who in the world did Mark Briscoe choose? He chose Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee. And again, Kip Sabian, Workhorseman, decent wrestlers, but you know what you're getting ready to get. Mark Briscoe and them handling the business. They tore him up. So we get Mark Briscoe talking about, he said that he would like to go against Jay White and take his position at Full Gear against MJF. Now, you know dang well he ain't winning that matchup. Jay White is, look, the match has already been booked. Why the heck are we going to take Jay White out just to put Mark Briscoe in there? It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Khan just coming up with certain things, and throwing it at the wall, hoping that it stick, because he ain't really got the slightest clue on what he's doing. So speaking of the women, we get Emma Sakura. We don't ever see her. Every time we see her, she losing to everybody. And she went against my girl Willow Nightingale. You already know. Willow Nightingale beat the brakes off of her, and that was that. And it led to nothing. I wish Willow would have actually said something about what's going on, where she literally needs to clear her head, because as of right now, Sky Blue is trying to put her where she's trying to have her pick a side. I'm like, I'm not picking a side. I'm tight with you, Chris, and I'm tight with you, Sky. Like, they need to do something, because we need to be tying things together. Because, again, just having one women's match on here ain't really doing nothing. It's not really building the women's division up. People have been crying about the women's division. It ain't building nothing. Nothing's being built up, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. And it's sad, man. It's absolutely sad. I'm like, I don't know what to say anymore. Like I said, it's look, AEW always gives us some solid wrestling. It's not the wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. It's always about the storytelling that we're asking for. We're asking for the storylines to make sense, so when we watch the good wrestling, we can say, you know what? They got me invested. I need to come back. You know, I got my two cats who just subscribed to me, Saeed and her name was Miss Align, I think, husband and wife. And I've told them about tuning in to the show, and I don't know if they really want to be invested, because all it is just some decent wrestling. And I'm like, that's not the name of the game. The game is storytelling. So Samoa Joe talked about how he been running around with this Ring of Honor Television Championship, and he's been holding it with prestige. And listen, he heard about MJF's situation. He told him, man, he needs to get down with him, because he needs somebody like him to get on board with him. You know? And out of nowhere, he said, I beat everybody. And then out of nowhere, you hear, except me. Keith Lee pulls up out of nowhere. Now, I told y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Lee should be the one to beat him for that championship. I didn't want Tony Khan to give us the matchup this fast. What I wanted them to do was to do Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor, and then we get the number one contender to determine who would get Samoa Joe at Full Gear. See, Samoa Joe would, listen, MJF wouldn't be the only cat doing double duty. I have Samoa Joe as MJF's tag team partner, and then later on the show, I will have Samoa Joe go against Keith Lee for the Ring of Honor Championship. But before Keith Lee gets to him, I would have Shane Taylor and Keith Lee battle it out for the number one contendership shot. That's what I would have done. But because they've done this and they're doing it on freaking Dynamite, I don't know if Keith Lee is winning. I personally think Shane Taylor is going to screw Keith Lee up, and I personally think that's going backwards. It should be Keith and Shane going up right now, and then we do Samoa Joe versus Keith Lee, or vice versa, or whatever. That's what I would have done. But Keith Lee had cut his promo and said, you ain't beat nobody. I mean, you beating everybody, but you ain't beat me. You ain't got in the ring with somebody like me. So do they pull the plug? I don't think so. They could. Like I said, TK could pull the plug, but I'm like, I would prefer the storyline that you're trying to tell, because I got a feeling Shane going to end up screwing that man up, and that's more than likely it's going to be Keith versus Shane at Full Gear. That's probably what we're going to get. Like I said, that means that Samoa Joe's going to retain his Ring of Honor Ring of Honor Television Championship. But that's that. Main event, they care not about the main event, because again, when you got champions and non-title matches, it's dumb book. I'm not having this. This was a dumb book match. I don't care that you got 1, 2, that's 3, 4, because that's a tag team right there, and 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't care you got a great solid 8-man tag. I don't. When champions are getting pinned in non-title matches, it makes absolutely no sense. So I think it was my man Kong that got pinned. Again, like I say, champions getting pinned in non-title matches is gonna be a huge pet peeve of mine, and it makes me not care about the match. So after the match, that's when you got all the chaos. So Dax had extended his hand out to shake Rush's hand, and Rush and Preston Vance, they walked off. So that just left them in the ring, and then next thing you know, Ricky Starks, Big Bill, Gates Agnew started beating the brakes off of FTR. And then House of Black came out of nowhere and all this stuff. And then the BCC came to the rescue. And I'm sitting up and saying, what the clown is going on here? You got everybody who ain't going up for the AEW Tag Team Champions basically going after everybody who ain't got nothing. Meanwhile, the Young Bucks, who are the number one contenders, are absolutely nowhere in sight. They were too busy throwing temper tantrums on doggone Dynamite. I'm like, what are we trying to take? What are we doing? Like, I honestly don't know what. I just personally think that TK is really running out of ideas on what to do. And that's where you have a creative staff, a creative team help you along the way. You don't sit up and try to come up with everything by yourself, because it's not going to work. It will not work. It will never work. So I walked away from Collision saying that it was some decent wrestling on the show. We got some decent storytelling, but overall, it was really not that good of a show. So I'm just calling for what it is. I'm just being 100%. For you fools that's going to probably sit up and watch this review and probably be like, I'm just a WWE hater. No, you can just stay for the entire doggone review. Because I said I was reviewing Crown Joke and I was reviewing AEW Collision. And so far, AEW Collision has been a very mid show at best. Even with the AEW champion himself on the show, it's been a mid show. And that is the fact that the cat who is trying to book the show really don't know what he's doing. Just like I say, H cannot book pay-per-views, while Tony Khan is having a terrible time trying to book wrestling TV. Because he a terrible time. That's why I say Tony Khan needs to stay his behind on social media. Get your behind on social media talking all this foolishness about we did this and we did that. No, you need to get off and you need to get yourself a team to help you along the way. We got 2 weeks away. We're literally 2 weeks away from Full Gear. 2 weeks. And I guarantee you, watch us get like 7 matches announced in the next 2 weeks. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you. You watch. We're going to get all these matches just announced out of nowhere because Tony Khan has no clue what he's doing, because he does not know how to tell people if your storyline is trash, you're not getting on the doggone pay-per-view. He don't tell his wrestlers that. He hugs them all. He does one of these numbers. He shake their hand and point at them, look goofy as possible. That's all he know how to do. That's literally, he don't know how to be a boss and tell them, like, look, your storyline is garbage 6 weeks. Listen, if we build you up a good storyline, guarantee you will be on the next pay-per-view. But because your storyline ain't really making no sense, I'm not putting you on the pay-per-view. I'm not going to have like 20 multi-man matches just for the sake of, hey, we got this cat on the show. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Full Gear at the max should at least be 8 to 9 matches at best. But I guarantee you, Tony Khan will probably give us a 12 special. I guarantee you going to give us a 12 special. I guarantee you. Because you know that Circus Clown can't help himself. He can't. He cannot help himself to save his life. Ladies and gentlemen, I done went on for a very long time. I talked about Crown Joke, and I came in here talked about AEW Collision, which has been a joke as well. I ain't got nothing else to say. I appreciate all the new subscribers and everybody that came through. Come on here. Tell me what you thought about everything. If you thought Collision was a fantastic show, give me a real reason as to why you thought it was a great show. If you like me and you thought the show was trash, you tell me it was trash. Same thing with Collision. If you thought Collision was trash, you tell me it was trash. If you like Collision, if you want to continue to tune in and keep watching, you tell me exactly why. Make sure you hit that like button. If, like I said, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. This is the realest of the real Caseyville King Self Life Wrestling Takes. I'm gone. Holla at your boy.